the increase of the dhyanas and the dhyanas that end up in nirvana. Furthermore, the Buddha knows those who enter into and come out of concentration with difficulty. Those who enter and come out of concentration easily, those who enter easily and come out with difficulty, and, finally, those who enter with difficulty and come out easily. The Buddha knows that such and such a man should obtain such and such a dhyana. He knows that such and such a man who has lost the dhyana is enjoying the 5 objects of enjoyment. He knows that such and such a man, having enjoyed the 5 objects of enjoyment, will obtain the dhyana anew, and depending on this dhyana, he will attain arhathood. By means of his profound knowledge, the Buddha knows fully these dhyanas, vimokshas, samadhis and samapattis, and as this knowledge is intact and invincible in him, it is called the third power. 4. The knowledge of the degree of the moral faculties. The power of the knowledge of the degree of the moral faculties of beings. The Buddha knows the beings who are of sharp faculties, of weak faculties or of medium faculties. The strong knowledge is called superior. The weak knowledge is called inferior. Using this awareness of the degree of the faculties of beings, the Buddha distinguishes the beings who are of keen, medium or weak faculties. Such and such an individual who has such and such faculties can, in the present existence, obtain only the first fruit 1. The fruit of srotaapanna, but cannot obtain the other fruits. Such and such another individual can obtain only the second, the third or the fourth fruit. Such and such an individual can obtain only the first dhyana. Such and such another can obtain only the second, third or fourth dhyana, etc. Up to the absorption of the cessation of discrimination and feeling. Such and such an individual will become conditionally liberated. Such and such another individual will become unconditionally liberated. Such and such an individual can obtain the first rank among the Sravakas. Such and such another can obtain the first rank among the Pratyeka Buddhas. Such and such another, completely fulfilling the 6 perfections, can obtain supreme perfect enlightenment. Knowing all this, the Buddha also knows those who pass to the other shore if the Dharma is preached to them in brief, fully, or in brief and fully at the same time. He knows which beings are to be instructed by means of gentle words, which by means of rough words, or which by means of both gentle and rough words. Such and such an individual who already possesses the other faculties should act so as to increase further his faculty of faith. Such and such another should act so as to produce the faculties of exertion, mindfulness, concentration and wisdom. By using his faculty of faith, such and such an individual enters into certitude of the acquisition of the supreme good. Such and such another individual, by using the faculty of wisdom, enters into the certitude of the acquisition of the supreme good. These people, of keen faculties, are hindered by the fetters. For example, yang qianli mo lo, etc. Certain others, of keen faculties, are not hindered by the fetters, for example cho li fu, mu lian mord galayana, etc. The Buddha knows the individuals of weak faculties but who are not hindered by the fetters, for example cheu li pan ta ki. But there are people of weak faculties who are hindered by the fetters. The Buddha knows the people whose passions have been destroyed by seeing the truths and whose faculties are weak. The people whose passions have been destroyed by meditation whose faculties are keen. The people whose passions have been destroyed by meditation and whose faculties are keen. The people whose passions have been destroyed by meditation and whose faculties are weak, and finally, the people whose passions have been destroyed by seeing the truths and whose faculties are keen. In such people, all the faculties are equally weak or equally keen. In others all the faculties are neither equally weak, nor equally keen. A given person is of great strength as a result of previous causes. Another person is of great strength as a result of present conditions. A given person, while searching for bondage, finds liberation. Another person while searching for liberation, finds bondage. Thus, Angulimala, who wanted to kill his mother and torment the Buddha, found liberation, whereas a bhiksu who had obtained the 4 dhyanas and developed pride, because of that, fell into hell. Finally, the Buddha knows that such and such an individual will fall into the bad destinies. That a second individual will come out only with difficulty, that a fourth will come out easily, that a fifth will come out quickly, and that a sixth will come out after a long time. The Buddha knows fully and completely all these various degrees of the faculties of beings, and since this knowledge is intact in him and invincible, it is called the fourth power. 5. The knowledge of the aspirations of beings. The power of knowledge of the various aspirations of beings. By aspiration is meant trusting joy, inclinations. Beings love the 5 objects of enjoyment, as did Suanta Lo Nen too. They love fame, as did Tipo Ta. They love worldly goods, as did Shumi Tcha to Lo. They love the life of a monk, as did Yi Cho. They love faith, as did Po Kia Li. They love the rules, as did Lo Heulo, etc. They love generosity, as did Che Polo. A note in red says that he was the son of Kan Lu, Amta, aunt of the Buddha. They love the strict observances and solitude, as did Mo Ho Kia Cho. They love solitary meditation, as did Li Po Tu. They love wisdom, as did Cho Li Fu. They love learning, as did Anan. They love to understand the discipline, as did Yo Po Li, etc. All these disciples of the Buddha each had their preferences, and the worldly people, they too, each have their own tastes. Some are pleased with desire, others with hatred. Furthermore, the Buddha knows those who abound in lust, those who abound in hatred, and those who abound in ignorance. Question. What are the characteristics of those who abound respectively in lust, hatred, or ignorance? Answer. Here it is necessary to cite fully the characteristics of the threefold poison described in the Chan King. Knowing these characteristics, the Buddha corrects especially lustful people by means of a sermon on the horrors of the body. He corrects those who are especially hateful by means of a sermon on the mind of loving kindness. And he corrects those who are especially stupid by means of a sermon on dependent origination. In this way, he preaches the Dharma according to the aspirations of beings. If these aspirations are good, he preaches in accordance with the minds of the beings, like a boat going along with the current. If these aspirations are bad, he addresses them with rough words according to the method of driving out a peg by means of a counterpeg.